Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you are all well. Another live. Oh, I'm getting back into the swing of things. Slowly getting back into the swing of things. I think what we didn't. I think I cancelled one the other day. Was it the other day? What a day that was! What a bloody week. 2 weeks. Really, what a bloody year. But I'm sure we've all got stories to tell about this year. Look, the good thing about these lives is they're not quite as mad as the Idaho 4 lives when we talk about true crime, because this is more of a wellness get-together. This is where we just sort of talk amongst ourselves about stuff that's going on. And in the background, there will be sort of an underlying topic. I'm hoping to do this more regularly. We started doing it, and then we stopped. But we do need to do more of these, because I know that there are a lot of people, and they're going through a lot of things. And we're going to be more interactive. This is more of an interactive thing, where we don't normally go, hello, you, hello. We're going to do stuff like that in this one. It's like family. This is like family. So how is everyone? Let's go into the chat. I've got 2 chats now running side by side. I don't know why that one's running slow, but hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. I did see we've got Bonnie in here, who, Bonnie, she hasn't been part of a live before, and she is currently she's going through some treatment. Hello, Evil CJ. Hello. I hope you are well, my friend. But yeah, so I hope that we can all put messages of get well ASAP, like immediately. I don't understand why people do get well soon cards. Never understood that. What about get well now? Why don't anybody do get well now cards? Because it's like you're trying to prolong the illness, aren't you, when it's get well soon? Get well in a bit. Get well like in a week or something. Not now, in a week. Thank you very much, Evil CJ. Thank you, my friend. That is amazing. We have 10 gifted memberships from Mr. Evil CJ. And if you haven't already subscribed to Mr. CJ, do that. Whether it be now or whether it be afterwards. Make sure to go and give him some love over on his channel. I think me and him share some ideas and share some thoughts. So what do we got? Who we got in? Mods. Who are our mods for this evening? And we do have an amazing... don't tell them that I said this. Keep this to yourself. But our mods are potentially the best mods on the platform. But again, don't tell them I said that, because they get big heads. We've got Kristen. We've got Superior Dreams. We've got Tracy. We've got Dixie. I did see that we had Plants Are My Jam, which is our very long-standing mod, which is Jen. And I think is that it at the moment? Or did I miss one? Did I miss any? I don't know. Evil CJ, so he's now gifted 20 memberships. He's going to make everybody members at this rate. That's like a Christmas present to everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Evil CJ. That's very, very kind of you. But yeah, it was. It is very kind. I don't even know how to do that myself. I need to set up my gifting. I don't even have that set up. I'll make sure it's done for the live on Wednesday, and gift some memberships out. And we've all got Harsh Reality. Hello, my friend. You do have me. So, the one thing I will say about the Idaho 4 case, I know we're not here to talk about that, and we won't be talking about that. We've got plenty of stuff, sort of the first part of the week. As this week, we will be talking about other stuff as well. Because ultimately, the Idaho 4 content, I think we've pretty much covered everything. There's a couple of things that I just want to shout out there. But, yeah, threats. People resorting to threats. I'm not allowed to talk about it, apparently. Yeah, like that's going to happen. As long as there is things to talk about, we will talk about it. Yes, he's not very evil, is he? It should be like the kind CJ show, the generous CJ show. But when would that give a? That's not such a cool vibe, is it? It's not such a cool vibe. Evil CJ. That's going to draw him in. It's going to draw him in. So what do we got? What do we got? We've got some smiley face, catty crime ghoul. So yeah, it's I see what's happened there. I'll just pin that because it come up that, right? So what happens is, like, on one chat it's got all the pictures of what they're uploading, the emojis. Then on the other chat it tells you what the emojis are. So I'm basically pinning a comment that is a written explanation of what the emojis are. That's amazing, that is. Yes, threats. Yes, threats indeed. Yes, threats. It's not a new thing, do you know what I mean? You get loads of stuff. When you're a content creator and you talk about it, an evil CJ will probably tell you the same. Do you know what I mean? It's maddening. It is maddening. It's maddening. The people who, when you start talking about stuff, what they think that, you know, the right they have to tell you. Like, a lot of my content is driven by the community. Do you know what I mean? People will email, they'll message me, and they'll ask specific questions, or we'll touch on other things. You know, we'll look in the communities of other channels, and we'll know what people want to see and want to hear. But then you'll get the odd few that think that they can tell you what you can and can't speak about. Never mind. So who have we got? What do we got? Yes, when it comes with the gig, harsh reality. Yeah, it's absolutely. You can't please everybody, and this ain't. You know, I've said before, this ain't about being popular. This isn't a popularity contest. If we wanted to be popular, we would go by the most popular narratives. You know, we'd speak about what the majority of people want to hear. They'd want us to talk about how Brian Koberger is absolutely 100% guilty. Do you know what I mean? Evil is actually an American name, Harsh. See, that's my ignorance, that is, Jamie. That's Janny has a gun. Uh-oh. So, in terms of the stuff that's going on, I'll tell you a little bit more about the stuff that I've been put up with for a while later on. But what is everybody else happening? What's happening with everybody at the moment? Is there anything that you guys specifically have going on that you would like the community to touch on? Because what we find in here is people share things, do you know what I mean? We've got people who are going through certain situations, they're having specific difficulties, they don't really know what to do, and we can talk about it, and other people, do you know what I mean? It's good to share. If you want to share, don't feel forced. I would always say, first and foremost, that if you are really struggling, then do reach out for help and assistance. You know, we can talk about it, we can share our opinions, and if we've been through stuff ourselves, we can certainly try and offer guidance in how we dealt with things, or indeed, if we did something and it failed miserably. But ultimately, we're not professionals, and I would always say to people, go and get professional help, and if you don't know how to get it, then reach out, even if that's reach out to me via email, put important in the subject header and tell me, and I will help you all I can to try and get you in the right direction. In the what do you call it? In the subject, in what do I call it? The write-up on this video, I can't even remember, it's gone out of my brain, but with all the details, the information, it's got links, loads of links, the video description, there's loads of links in there for help that's available to people. Whose birthday is it? Did someone say is it CJ's birthday, or did he say it's not his birthday? Is it your birthday? Is it CJ's birthday? It's not my birthday, beauties. Not in here, mate. If they want it to be a birthday, you've just got to understand that it is now your birthday. That's how it works. So what have we got? What issues have we got? Does anyone work for a boss that creates a hostile work environment? If yes, what is the best way to deal with them other than quitting? So, it's funny you should say this, because for those of you who are members and have emailed me to request the newsletter, I do like a weekly newsletter. Only just started, but my other half worked for a school, and she has just quit. She's just quit it, and this all kind of stemmed from when we all went in lockdown and the pressure. And I just see Kerry had said about her, she works in school, and I can't, I'll come back to this, I'll leave this here, Kerry, and we'll come back to it. But it was all through lockdown, it was mental for teachers. It was absolutely crazy. And they rarely were put on blast. You know, when people were locking down, they were saying that things were locking down. The schools weren't locking down. They weren't locking down at all. The government was 100% wanting to get the kids into school. And we can all argue about why they were doing it, but ultimately they wanted the kids in school, absolutely. And there's good and bad things for that, but it didn't stop the fact that the teachers were there and they were being put in the positions they are in. It was stressful, it was harsh, and yeah, it never recovered. In terms of what the schools are like internally, in the UK I'm talking about, I don't really know what it was like for you guys, but it never recovered. And Mrs. Harsh left. She's had to leave. She's handed a notice in. She handed a notice in on Friday, and it was just, she's tried to, she doesn't even want to. It wasn't even about wanting to. It was about having to for her own well-being. She's started to suffer from stress and anxiety, brought on through just working. She's the hardest worker on the planet. And it just got to a point where she just couldn't do it anymore. But anyway, I digress. The question is, if you work for a boss and they're a dick, how do you deal with that? And I will tell you, because for those of you who have been around the channel for some time, I was a manager for one of the biggest retail companies in Europe. And I was there for about 13 years. And I had dick bosses. And it's about being brave, okay? It's about being brave. And what I mean by that is, hello, Dope, by the way. We've had another mod come in, the legend that is Dope Soul. Everybody give... Oh, and Ken. Dope and Ken have joined the party. Give Dope and Ken a warm welcome. But yeah, what I was going to say. So look, you have to get brave. Because as an employee, you have rights. And how businesses work, and I know, again, because I've been in it, and they do it, is they will try and operate in a manner with which they keep moving the goalposts a bit, and you become comfortable, and then they'll move them a little bit more, so you're doing a little bit more. Then you'll get comfortable and you'll do a bit more. And before you know it, you're being taken a piss out of. It's like job sharking, where your job should be this. They twist it until it's something else. And you have to be able to stand up and say, I know what my rights are. I know what I can do and what I can't do. I know what you can do and what you can't do. If you feel that you are being put in a position where your boss is doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, then you get an email and you write a formal complaint to your employer. And be brave enough to do it. Because you see, it's difficult for me because I don't know what it's like in the US. So I can't sit here and say that I do. But there are rules, and I don't know whether them rules are applicable to the US, but employees do have rights. And if you can 100% know that you're in the right. So if your boss truly is being a dick, and what I will say, you have to be brave enough, I suppose, and smart enough to think, you know what, is that person being a dick, or am I just somebody who I and there are people, I'm not saying this is in your case, but there are some people who they can think someone's being a dick, but they are just a dick in nature. Do you know what I mean? Some people are just a dick, and they're a dick to anybody and everybody. And if that's the case, then you have to kind of chin up and suck it up and just kind of not let it get to you, and just remember that it's not you being singled out. But if you are being singled out and this person is 100% being okay with other people and you're being treated differently, then you address it. But you always address it in writing. So there is a paper trail to say that I am addressing this, and this is exactly what I'm addressing. And if it gets to the point where it's happened over a period of time, then you do a diary. You write a diary of all the stuff that they've said, all the stuff that they do. And even though it seems, perhaps when I say things like this, it seems that you're being a bit petty, but you have to get as much down on paper as you can. Have to get as much down on paper as you can. And then if it gets to the point where you physically can't be there anymore because they have just backed you into a corner, then you leave, and then you sue the company for constructive dismissal, saying that they forced you into leaving. They made an environment that was toxic and it was impossible for you to be part of. You have documented it, you reached out, you've done everything you could to address it, and they never did anything about it, and in fact it got worse. And you go down the legal track with it. But you have to be brave, you have to understand that you are there to do a job, and as much as you have an obligation to the employer has an obligation to you. It's a two-way street, and that's what you have to do. But nobody should go into a work and I know work's a bore, innit? Work can be a bore, but you should never go into work and have to bring that job home to your family. Or, as soon as them doors close behind you, that's where work should stay. And if it doesn't, and there is negativity that comes out the door with you, then that deserves to be addressed, because it shouldn't be that way. And don't let it be that way, because the more you let it happen, the more that happens, and the more you allow it, the more they will push it. And if you get to the point where you've allowed it for so long, it's almost more difficult to then say, now I have a problem. It's now I have a problem. Like Monique has said, sometimes the states can be a little harder with this stuff. And you are probably right. Like I say, this is coming from someone who knows the law in terms of employment law inside and out in this country. But what I will say is there should be a law of some description. I'm guessing that the employees do have rights in the US, and it's about learning what those rights are. Now, I'm sure that I could find out what the legal rights are, and perhaps I'll do that. Perhaps over the next few days, I will look into employee rights. If you have issues with your work and it's getting to the point where you are upset and you feel that you're going to have to leave, then reach out to me. Put, again, in the subject field, important job issue, and I'll have a discussion with you and I'll see what I can find out. I'm willing to help and do as much as I can. For those of you who don't know, I do provide a service to people in the UK where if they have purchased things, if they've bought a service, whether it be a service or a product, and that hasn't worked out right, then I will actually work on their behalf to get either their money back or get a replacement product, and I offer that for free to people because, again, I do know employment law very, very well. But, don't work in a job without dealing with it if it's making you feel upset and depressed. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, and you don't need to do it. And what was this? My second boss at the same job turned around one day and said, birds shouldn't take the wages a man would take home to his family. If I'd interviewed you, you'd have never made it through the door. That's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. that some people still live in this archaic mindset of this equality thing, this inequality. You know, it's been a difficult one for a long time. Do you know what I mean? This pay thing. And I think the downside is it's like everything else. They try and blanket everything with one rule, and you know it shouldn't be one rule. It should just be that people are paid what they're worth in a job, regardless of whether they're male or female. You know, if there's a job and both males and females can do it, and the female can do it better, then the female should get paid more. And equally, if it's a job and the man and female can do it, but the man can do it better, then he should get paid more. But it doesn't work like that. They try and blanket everything because it makes it easier, and then you cause this fucking disaster. I'm self-employed. My boss absolutely sucks. What can I do? Stevie, you've got to strive to be a better man and give yourself an easier time, my friend, and you will find that your boss gradually gets better over time. If not, sack him and get a new one, because self-employment just isn't for you. I tried to be as nice to Stevie as I possibly could. But I know, I'm the same, Stevie, I'm the same. But I just can't... I couldn't work for anybody anymore. I couldn't go in and do like a 9 till 5 job, and I actually have a lot of respect for those that do. Those that do go in and can do that. I just couldn't do it anymore. I quite spectacularly quit my job. Quite spectacularly walked out after. Like I said, after about 13 years of that. I did electronics originally, and then I went into this role in retail management. And it just got worse and worse and worse. For anybody who is from the UK, you will be well aware of the company. I'll give you a clue, and if there's anyone from the UK, and some of you outside the UK may know them, if I give you one clue, you should know. They have had the world's longest running sale. And they once even had a record for the most money spent on advertising ever spent by a business. So if you're from the UK, you should know. If I say they've had the longest running sale ever, you should know who I used to be in middle management for. Let me know. Hello, Brian Hoffman, my friend. How are you? How are you? Not Woolworths. I don't even know. Did Woolworths actually come back? Lovey put, I know. You can say it. If you know what it is, say it. And let's see if you're right. Let's see if you're right. Mark and Betty. That was the first one. DFS Furniture. That is absolutely correct. DFS Furniture. I used to run 2 branches for DFS Furniture. I actually ran the store, most of London's distribution, because I ran the Cambridge branch. And if you're familiar with UK, Cambridge is very good, sort of from a networking perspective of how to get in and out of London. So yeah, it was it was a bit mad. It was crazy, but in the end, it was ridiculous. I'd leave the house at 5:30 in the morning, and I'd get back at 10 o'clock at night. It was madness. Right, unfortunately, every state has their own employment laws. Yes, and that would, like I say, if someone's got issues and they're in a predicament where they really do need help, if they reach out to me and they say, you know, where they're from, we can find out. We can find out exactly what the laws, the rules, regulations are in that area. Updated merch shop. There is an update. There's some clothing in the merch store. Thank you very much, Dope. We don't like pushing the merch store. I hardly ever mention it, but yes, there is some new merch in there. I'm going to put a couple of new designs in there this week that will run through Christmas, and then we'll probably pull it back down after Christmas. My missus still works for DFS. Wait till I tell her. What a place, Mark, what a place. Had some good times back in the day when Mr. Graham Kirkham owned the business. It was mad, it was mental. We used to have what they called the millionaire sort of trips out, and we went to loads of places. We used to have like managers meetings, and they'd be like in Barcelona, and yeah, it's quite crazy. So what else have we got? Did you announce the winner of the hoodie? I haven't, Lizanne. I've got to do it all this week. If some people remind me, I'll give that job to Dope, because I know she'll nag me. So Dope, if you just drop me a message in Discord and DM, and just remind me to, I've got to post 2 hoodies out and let you know who's won 2. I've also still got to post out the earrings, because I haven't even done that yet. Who won the hoodies? Not hoodies, earrings. I've got the winner, but I haven't posted the bloody things out yet. Anyone work for Bud Light? Oh God, we'll stay away from that one. So what do we got? I think Harsh would be good with people. I am good with people. I am, if people are right. Do you know what I mean? There's certain things that I don't tolerate. I don't tolerate laziness, and I don't tolerate lies. I'd rather someone tell me the truth, whatever it is, and I can deal with that. But airs pick up. Yes, we give loads of stuff away, and we will be doing more. On the run up to Christmas, we'll be giving a few bits and pieces away. Dog's Harsh Reality down the side of the calf. Yeah, there's quite a few bits and pieces in there. Literally loads. There's like quite a few different items. There's even teddy bears with like things on. But anyway, right back to it. So what do we got? Is there anybody in here who's got anything they would want to speak about? Anything going on? You know, I put that this is about sort of the breakdown of the family unit. How's the house search? And we actually viewed a house. When was it? Yes, was it yesterday? What day is it today? Sunday. Yeah, it was yesterday morning. We went and looked at a house yesterday. So possibly found one. The house is nice. It will do what we need it to do. And yeah, it's all right. Once it's finalised, then I will tell you more. And we will go from there. I look forward to your morning videos. Thank you very much. Actually, you know what? The Budweiser factory is such a nice place to take kids and visit their hair, especially at Christmas. They have Clydesdales and Santa Sleigh. There's not a lot going on. There's not a lot going around in the UK in terms of like stuff to do around Christmas. Like, we're supposed to be going to, what do you call it? To Amsterdam, but I don't even think that's going to happen now. Oh, and by the way, for people who think this is a green screen still, look, this isn't a green screen. This tree is real. Look, you play with your baubles. Yeah, this is real. There's so many people who have messaged me and said about the green screen. How do you get the green screen? Where do you get it? It's not a green screen, it's real. I'd rather be slapped in the face than lied to. Absolutely. And didn't you just reno the house? Yes. What has basically happened while we're moving is one of our children wasn't getting on at the high school, and we've tried to work with the high school to get things better. Just didn't work out, so we've decided to move her. We've moved her to another high school. This new high school is a fantastic one, but it does put quite a lot of pressure on getting her there, because we've got the youngest who goes to one school, she's got to get to another school. It's timing and all sorts. We've got another child who's at college, so we have to get them to another place because the bus doesn't come to where we are, so we have to take it to another village, and they're all in completely opposite directions, and we just can't do it, and they're all relatively the same sort of time. So we've got no choice but to move, and yeah, it's just one of them. We've just got to do what's right for the children. To be fair, we've just got to move and make it so it's easier for them. And well, I say easier for them. It's easier for us to do what's right for them, if that makes sense. I definitely look forward to your morning videos. You're usually the first thing I hear every day. Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. What else we got? I would love to visit Amsterdam, where Anne Frank. See, that's where Mrs. Harsh wants to go. She wants to go to Anne Frank's house. That's the whole purpose of going there. And actually, a friend of mine who is a content creator, he actually lives in. Well, he doesn't live in Amsterdam. He lives in Haarlem, which is about 30 minutes away. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully catch up with him as well. I homeschool 3 kids, are brilliant. See, we contemplated that, but it's hard when you want to then get in the UK, when you then want to put them through the, what do you call it, the exams. Yeah. I love Harsh's house. I recently got inspired and did a watercolour exactly like the raining girl back there. A lot of people ask about the... what do you call it? The picture in the back. There's that one there. This one, that there. For those of you who don't know what that picture is a Banksy picture. It was done by the artist Banksy. He's a graffiti artist. And it was done, it's called Nola. And it was done to represent the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. It was quite, how can I say, there was a lot of hassle around it when it first came out, because it was to represent the fact that the people of the area weren't helped, that there was delays in getting help to them, specifically like governmental help and aid that they needed. And it was it was depicted originally as there was rain just under the umbrella, and there was the skies were clear apart from under the umbrella. So it was to represent sort of not giving help when help was there and available. So those that needed it were specifically ignored. And the controversy around it was rife. So they done adaptations of it. So that is an adaptation of the original Nola. But I do have quite a few Banksy prints. Someone did ask me where they came from. I can't bloody remember where it come from. I'll put a link in description at some point. It's good. It's good. What do we got? Paige. I'm dealing with a husband, best friend of 18 years, who is very ill. He is only 47 and has been bedridden for the past few months, and I'm his caregiver. I'm exhausted and emotionally broken. I can imagine so, Paige. And the one thing that you've got to kind of, I think, the initial thing you have to do is know that that's okay to feel that way. You know, some people, part of how they feel is exacerbated by feeling that they shouldn't feel that way. They feel like they should have a lot more energy than realistically you have. You know, everybody at some point hits a wall, and it's okay to feel exhausted. It's okay to not be able to cope. It's okay to really have to reach out and get help and assistance. And if you can get help and assistance, then I would 100% say, yeah, go and get help. Go and get help. Go and get support, and say, look, I just cannot do this anymore. And we have to. Eventually, you can't do everything. It's like, same as, like I said, with Mrs. Harsh, different situation, but she absolutely adores working with children and helping children. But she'd done so much that it got to the point where when your health starts to suffer, it's time to sack in the towel. It's time to say, look, and but don't feel bad about it. Please understand that is absolutely normal, and you can't. You're not Superwoman. You're not Superwoman. 100%. And don't give yourself a hard time. You've already done so much more than many people would have done. Do you know what I mean? You've got to take care. Why do you think when you're on an aeroplane, they say, if the aeroplane's going crazy and stuff, and they always say, when the masks come down, if there's a depressurized cabin, who do you put the mask on first? Do you put the mask on your child, or do you put the mask on you? You put the mask on yourself, because realistically, you can't help anyone if you can't help yourself first. So always look after yourself. Always look after yourself. But, yeah. Anybody else got any issues? Anybody got any issues? That's quite good when there's not so many people, so we can sort of have a much more chilled discussion. I'm a little bit, like I say, I apologise if I missed things. It's because I've got two chats running side by side. I use a program, Evil CJ, if he's still about, he'll know what I mean. I use Ecamm Live to stream. So Ecamm Live will do a chat. That will show me what the chat is. And then in the middle of the screen, I've got the actual YouTube backstage, if you like, of the live. And then over here on another screen, I've got the same thing, the same chat. But them chats don't seem to run at the same speed. Easier said than done, it seems. You can't help if you're depleted. You can't. And, you know, it's like Dixie says, sometimes it's hard, but we only put hurdles in front of ourselves. And the hardest hurdle that we will ever overcome is the hurdle that we place there. Hello, JB. It's great to have you here. Paige, thank you all so much. I go in the bathroom throughout the day and cry. You're all so kind. Thank you. This is the only support I've received, and it means the world to me. But don't forget it, Paige. The important thing that you have to do is listen to what's being said and action something from it. Action something from it. Do something that will make you feel better, because you have to do something. And if you need help, if you need support and assistance, then if you struggle, you don't know, again, reach out and let's get the ball rolling. Let's see if we can find some help. Innocent, I saw someone mention the dog. The dog is absolutely fine. The dog is, well, when I say it's fine, the dog's a fucking pain in the arse. Absolutely amazing, but if she sees me in here, she goes mental. So this where I am is not where she is. This is a different part of the house away. But if I brought her in here, she now feels the need to go crazy while I'm on here. So it's trying to get out of the habit of when I'm on here, she's not trying to pull the tree over or rip wires out the desk or trying to eat the fireplace or trying to pull me off the chair, trying to eat the chair from under me. What do we got? April, May. I'm a single mum, basically an only parent, and I never feel like I'm doing enough. I'm always struggling to keep up, and it's so easy to get run down when people ask more of you. And again, it's the same advice, April. You can only do so much. Do you know what I mean? You can't do everything. It doesn't work that way. And you have to learn to say no and be okay to say no and understand that saying no is the right thing to do sometimes. You can't just keep saying yes constantly. You just can't do it. Even though you want to say yes, and I get the desire to say it, it's just not sometimes the right thing to do. And in fact, you do that person or even your child a disservice by keep saying yes, because eventually that is going to get worse and worse and worse until you pop. And it's about learning to say no. and learning that if you're chasing perfection, if you think I want to be the perfect mum, I want to be the perfect parent, and I've got to do more, and you're always chasing that, especially with children, then your children are always going to out energy you. Children are machines at demand, and they have to be taught that they don't get everything they want. You know what I mean? It's that balance. It's the head over the heart, and I know the heart, especially when you're a parent and you're talking about your children or your family, is a real strong sort of magnet. But you've sometimes got to use your head. Yeah, you need some respite. Oh, I love the word no. Yeah, the word no is very powerful if it's used in the right sense. You know what I mean? In the right place. Gulf Coast Granny, no can be the most therapeutic word. Yeah, do you know what? If you've been saying, yes, I'll do this, I'll do that for you, I'll do that. Don't worry, I'll get onto that. No, I'll do it. And all of a sudden, and you go, no, no, I'm not doing it. You do it. The weight that you feel, I've been there. Do you know what I mean? Just how nice it's just no, I'm not. But I know what you mean. Mrs. Harsh is the same. Like I said about, we talk about pocket money, children and pocket money, and giving them pocket money. And I said about letting the kids keep their own rooms tidy, their own spaces tidy. And I said, you know what? I don't mind paying pocket money to the kids, giving them pocket money, paying them for doing stuff. But then you'll have Mrs. Harsh will run around and she'll tidy up after them. But it's got to the point where I'll have to turn around and say, do you know what? If you tidy up after them, there's no point in me paying them. And she's doing it because she's an amazing mum, and I think she struggles with what she thinks that they should have to do with what they should be taught to make them better. And sometimes you have to step back and let them do things for them to get better. Truth and transparency, hello. I hope you are well. Some amazing content on the Idaho 4 for those who... I'm sure anyone interested in the Idaho 4 case, by the way, knows who Truth and Transparency is. And look, no hate, because I know that some content creators are not for some people. There are people out there who fucking hate me, and I get it. I'm like Marmite. And you could say people like Truth and Transparency are also like Marmite because they are like me, where they don't let go of things, and it's rightly so, but some people don't like that. But we don't always have to agree, but let's disagree like adults. But again, if you are unfamiliar with Truth and Transparency and you're following the case, I would certainly say go and watch the content. Oh yeah, it's what do you call it? It's coming up to your holiday period, your Thanksgiving period. I hope that you guys have got stuff planned. You're doing stuff. Elbows Mum, anyone feeling unmotivated and low, find a local group that you can exercise in. I'm a big fatty and just took up a women's only MMA class. It's bloody awesome. I'm a new woman. And that's it. It's about getting around people. It is about getting around. Do you know what I mean? Getting around. Don't be alone. Don't be on your own. Get out. And, get around people. I like Drip Drop. Thanks for mentioning him. Boom. Yeah, I like Drip Drop. He's not everyone's cup of tea. He's going to be, again, like Marmite. But, yeah, he's good. He's good. Sometimes you have to read between the lines with some content creators. Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes we'll do things or we'll say things indirectly trying to get people to think for themselves. Like I try and do that. I will talk about things and my entire premise is trying to get people to think more for themselves, be more open-minded. My May, I know you said no, Brian, but did you see the girls were texting during the crime? Well, yeah, we were speaking about that a while ago, my mate. That originally came out in the Howard Bloom article where he had spoken about it and raised it. And yeah, we did. I've got a video specifically covering the Howard Bloom articles. See, a lot of people miss some of the videos that I do because I do so many, and YouTube only notifies on a certain amount. So yeah, it's hard. I'm getting depressed with my circumstances and might blow soon. And again, it's like this, and what you're saying there, Cheryl, is what the problem is, and that is that everybody has a weak point. You know what I mean? Everybody, pressure builds, and eventually you're gonna pop. And what happens is pressure builds up, and you don't know where that needle's going to come in. You know, like when you blow up a balloon and you a pin comes in and bursts it. Well, it can be that you are resilient to loads of things, loads and loads of things. But there's one thing that is almost your Achilles heel, and that's why you have to take care of yourself, because you never know when something's going to get your Achilles heel. Hello, Dixie. Thank you very much. Another membership gifted. God, we've had some gifted memberships today. Thank you so much. This is the best dialysis I've ever had, so thank you. And again, for anybody who came in late, we do have Bonnie. She is new. She's not caught alive before, and she is currently going through dialysis. And I'm sure she would love your well wishes if you weren't here at the beginning. For depression, magic mushrooms help. I'm sure they do. I can't push that, because that would probably be a really, really quick way of getting bounced off the platform. Lana Harsh and AR Hayes are great, and they have wonderful chat rooms. We do have an awesome community. We do. Do you know what I mean? There's I know some other channels do as well. You know, I'm not saying this is the only amazing one, because to be fair, some of the other ones are made up from you guys. You know I'm not stupid enough to feel that I am exclusive. But this community, what we've built in 18 months, is something that you don't see everywhere. 100%. Do you know what I mean? We don't, we do. I know we don't want to blow too much smoke up the old, the arses of the mods, but we have an amazing team of mods. For those of you who don't have Discord, or you do have Discord, we have a good Discord group, and the mods are all in that. They are an amazing group, and there is. It's an amazing chat group. I think that it is a good thing about our chats, because I was just skipping ads, by the way. I didn't realise ads were coming in, but I just skipped that one for you. Do you know what I mean? With regards to the chat, I don't want to ramble on too much about chat. We just have an amazing community. 18 months, and there's people here who really do help. They can really help help each other. Seems like it's been so much longer than 18 months. I know. But it has. It's been about. Well, let me think. It's literally it'll be 2 years at Christmas, I think. I think my first upload was around December. I think it was around December, 2 years ago. I do not subscribe to Discord, so thank you for all of the mods. Yes, Discord isn't for everyone. I must admit, it's not something for everyone. Check with your insurance company. Some have home health services. That's a handy thing to know. Thank you, Sharon. Check with your insurance company. Some have home help services. Joan Bradley, I have 5 kids and anxiety is real. I have 3 graduated college, 1 junior in college in a fraternity, and my baby goes to college next year. And I'm guessing, Joan, this is sort of, this is a mum, don't want to let go and, with this sort of stuff, what we've been talking about recently, it's going to panic the shit out of you, isn't it? You know, we can talk about loads of stuff regarding the Idaho 4 case, but when you really consider, take all the noise away, take all the nuances of it, take all the bullshit, take all the, you know, documentaries, even my videos, strip everything back and just think about the crime itself and at the very, very heart of what it was. And it's crazy. It's crazy. But I think, Joan, that the only thing that you can do is to really just give them all of the information you can that can keep them as safe as you can. You're never going to keep people 100% safe, but you can do as much as you can. And as long as you're doing as much as you can't do no more. The world is the world. Hello, baby girl. I hope you are okay, my friend. I hope you are okay. Yeah, and that's all. That is all you can do. You've just got to do as much as you can. And, you know, we live, sadly, in a world that is just full of utter madness. Utter madness. Grey Wolf Paranormal, been a member for 12 months. 12 months, and it gone by quick. This year has flown. This year has flown. Absolutely flown. Some communities provide the same home services. Some communities provide the same home services. Yeah, I think the thing is, I think people who are struggling, if you look into help, you will probably find that there is help out there. Do you know what I mean? There will be some out there. It's just digging into it and find. They won't be very forthcoming that it exists, but it can sometimes exist hidden, and you just have to find it. I would flat out hit the floor if Ann Taylor said the defence calls St. Nick, William Thompson. Mr. Thompson, you said you would send your kid to the school because you knew more. What did you know? Yeah. Good point. Good point. Very valid point. I'm doing good, just as crazy as ever. It's good to be a little crazy. It's good to be a little crazy. As long as you sort of channel that craziness into in the right direction. Oh my God, I know it, Lama. Yes. 100%. But we have, obviously, Idaho 4 court, don't we? What is that? In about a week and a bit? About a week and a bit. And they should, this IGG stuff, we'll have to see what comes of that. We will have to see how, how that goes. So how long have we been going for? We have been time has flown, isn't it? Time has flown. It's like 25 to 12 here. So if you've got any last questions, let's run some questions. Put a Q at the beginning of your comment, and we shall go through some questions if you have any. They can be about anything. Don't have to be about crime. We'll do enough crime. I'm doing another crime live on Wednesday. If you've got any questions about anything else, smack them in there, and we'll go through some of them, and we'll finish on a couple of things that my life, if you like, the last few minutes, and why I had to cancel lives and stuff. It's mad. What are your true thoughts of our government and the school shootings? I think you can agree that we are finding out more about these. Might not be more than meets the eye. I think the government needs to do more, 100%. I think they need to do more than what they do. And again, I tread softly here because at the end of the day, I do not live in the US. I don't. Now, we live in a militarised zone at the moment, and Mrs. Harsh, her school was a primarily military child school, and they had just started doing drills in terms of if there was a situation, which is something that we have never ever seen in this country. Certainly not from my area, not from where we are, but they're now starting to do it. And it's even to see that being done is quite scary. So I cannot even begin to fathom what that must be like for you parents who have children in school in America. But they have to do more. They should be doing more. I can't understand why it's almost become normality that these are a thing. And that's where I think the governments go. It's almost like they want you to become desensitized to something, and then it just becomes normality. And when it becomes normality, then it's about how bad it can get before it's... And it's like that in everything. It's like it in everything. Like when they start putting prices up, isn't it? They put prices up. And before you know it, that hits this real high point where everyone's starting to get real upset. So they drop it a bit, so everyone chills out. But then that becomes normal then, and it never really drops back down. And that's the same as like with your situation with these shootings in schools. It's almost like you're now at the ceiling of it, where people are now going to start kicking off. But what are they going to do to then bring that pressure back down? Because that's very different, this situation, than just raising prices. But we've got to where we're going, in my eyes, with your school situation, because they just haven't done anything. They just haven't done what's needed to be done to stop it. Mayonnaise or mustard? Oh, this is a hard one. I'm going to say mayonnaise. I do like mustard, but if I had to pick one or the other for like permanently, it would have to be mayonnaise, because mustard, I like it, but only in small doses. When will you be having sweets with the young one again? Right, so this is the issue. So with regards to sweets with Hayden, so Hayden, for those of you who don't know, Hayden is my stepson. He's my stepson. He's not my real son. He's my stepson. But I've been with Mrs. Harsh since he was 2 years old. And he is now 10 years old. So we've been together for a while. And so his father, he is ex-military, and we have had nothing but grief from him. He became violent. He became abusive. He's not a very nice person. And he didn't want Hayden to appear in videos. He didn't want him on social media whatsoever. Not for any other reason than he just wanted to be nasty about it. And this is kind of exacerbated over time. And the guy has got issues. So I'm not going to go into too much details. Let's just say he's got issues. And these issues, believe it or not, culminated into a visit today, just today, from law enforcement, because he had been hospitalised. So he's been hospitalised. Let's just say that, again, he's got issues, and he's been hospitalised. These are issues that just 4 days ago I spent a whole day trying to discuss and help this guy out. He asked me to pay for him to go into rehabilitation, which in the UK, rehabilitation, by the way, costs about £30,000. And we have done a lot of stuff to support him still having a relationship with his son, despite everybody else telling us not to. But it's got to the point where now, after today, and what we've been put through today, we have no option, even from a legal perspective now, to sever contact. So yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one that we're going through at the moment. But I'll talk more later. Can you touch on your opinion on the crime live on Wednesday of John Venables being up for parole? Do you know what? This is something that I will perhaps, Lissy, I think I'll do a live on that as a standalone. Because for those of you who don't know about that case and who John Venables is, I think they need more context behind it. So I'll put a pin in that, and I will do a live specifically on that. I'll do it next weekend. I'll do it next Sunday. We'll do it specifically on that case, and we'll go from there, because it's a very good question, and one that will split the room, I think. Well, I say that. I think that'll be about 80-20, and 80% of people not wanting him to come out ever. What do we got? Got some questions. Going back. Am I wrong to call his palliative care nurse and inquire about hospice care in home, or am I overstepping? I literally can't do some of the things he needs from me, and I don't know what else to. You need to ask for that help, Kristen. 100%. It's not overstepping. It's being realistic. And the only thing you are doing by denying that is you're denying this person the care that they need, which will be better than what you can offer, because you're doing as much as you can. And it's okay for you to get to a point where you have done as much as you can do. Don't give yourself a hard time about it. Just get it done, because the quicker you make that decision, the quicker you're both going to be in a better place. And it is as simple as that. Just trying to find these. Question. I am military and I know exactly how scary it is for you. Do you find it is affecting your kids and wife? Like I say, it's a difficult one. It's I think you become acclimatized to the situation when you're part of this system. You become acclimatized. So what some people couldn't handle, it becomes normality. And I'm guessing a lot of you guys, there's so many of you, I know that you will have connections in some way, shape or form to military. And I don't talk about that too much. I don't say too much because for the most part, I can't say too much. Not everybody on here knows everything. And, it's one of them where, if you're part of that military life, it does become normal. It's like living by the base and hearing the planes go over. You eventually don't hear it. Do you know what I mean? Because you become acclimatized to hearing them. What kinds of things do you do to maintain mental health whilst deep diving into heinous crimes? It's a good one. I think this will probably resonate with other content creators as well. People certainly like Lana, who deep dives as much as what she does. It can affect you. I think it's important to detach from it to a degree and understand why you're doing it. So don't concentrate on what it is. Concentrate on what your aim is. So if you're covering a crime and you're covering a crime to bring information to people, to shed a light on things that you feel wouldn't otherwise be looked at, then you concentrate on that's why you're doing it. You're not just doing it to get the information on the crime itself, because that will drive you mad. You're doing what you do to shed a light on it. To shed a light, and there will be good, and concentrate on the positives that will come from it. Do you know what I mean? It's like when we talk about children who are going missing or children who have been hurt. Who do we talk about? How do we talk about that? How do we deal with it? We deal with it by not concentrating on the fact that a child has been hurt or a child has gone missing. You concentrate on what you can do by bringing information about the situation out to people, making people understand that children need to be protected better, that their parents need to do more, the parents need to be more careful, and to shed enough light to make a difference. And I think that's how I've got through it. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a look. Share my thoughts, possibly look in the KG sis thoroughly. Let's have a look. I'm looking for more questions. What do we got? 100% harsh reality. Thank you. I think that's about it. I think I missed some, but when it goes up too far, that then won't let me go back and see it. Harsh, are you a Leo, Cancer maybe? I am Aquarius. I was born the day before Valentine's Day. Born Valentine's Day. So what do we got? Last few comments before we call it a night. Because it's now 10 to midnight nearly. Triple Aquarius there. Yeah, see, I'm an Aquarius. What do we got? You mean the locks on doors I haven't yet can't get to? Damn. I can't see anything else. I appreciate the lives. Thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate that too. Hey, Harsh, Caesar Free Girl, you made it. And we're about closing up. We're about done. I do apologise. I don't like cutting off when people have only just got in. But sadly, we sometimes it just falls wrong. I would not have guessed Aquarius. No, not many people do. Gemini. My brother is a Gemini. One of my brothers, anyway. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Last questions. If anyone has got any last questions, shout out to all my Aquariuses. And how we got it? What else we got? Question: have you ever been stargazing? Not for a long time. It's sad. We just don't get the time. I'd like to go. Like go to somewhere like Iceland where you got the Northern Lights and what have you. And they do like you can stay in these glass domes with beds in them and just sleep in them domes. In fact, Mrs. Harsh, her friend, owns a place that you can go and stay and watch the Northern Lights. We just haven't got round to going. But we will at some point. We want to go Lapland and do stuff like that, and I'd like to do that. It's UK, innit? It's clouds. You go out there and all you can see is see is clouds in the sky. But yes, we've had a bit of downtime. Do you still have your unicorn outfit? I do. The other day, I was actually the night that I cancelled the live, I had to cancel the live, I was actually going to wear a Pudsey Bear onesie. Aquarius Hair 2, Friday, February 13th. Yeah, February the 13th is me. I can't, that's been a long time. Favourite whiskey? See, if I'm drinking whiskey, then it's going to be Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker Black Label is my favourite whiskey, but I don't drink whiskey that much. I'm not a big drinker, I must say. I'm not a very big drinker at all. When I do drink, I generally drink... this is going to sound like I'm a snob, but I'm not a snob. I drink Belvedere vodka because I like vodka and orange and vodka and lemonade, but I don't like the harshness of the likes of Smirnoff and that. I like something that's a bit weaker in taste. So Belvedere is purely like a taste thing. It's nothing to do with snobbery or anything like that. I just don't like the taste of really strong vodkas. Ever ride motorcycles, Harsh? Not since I've got older, because I was a bit of an idiot when I was younger. So I haven't ridden motorcycles for a long time. I used to have KMX 125, KMX 250, a lot of off-road stuff. Yeah, I have... The roads around here are just too dangerous. I live in a part of the country that would just be hellish. So the roads are like farming roads, so there's mud all over the roads. There's where it's not safe. If I lived in a different part of the country and the roads were different, then I would. I love motorcycles. I rarely love them, but it's just not safe. And having children, it would be unfair. It'd be unfair to have children and have a motorcycle and ride it on the roads where we are. You ought to go fishing, Harsh, and then for a game of golf. I don't even need to respond to that, don't you? I don't need to respond to that. The pets. The pets are absolutely fine, mate. One's a knobhead and the other one's a cat. In fact, the dog makes the cat not look like a knobhead, and everybody who's been around here for a while knows how much of a knobhead that cat is. Oh my God, I might not make it through alive looking at you in a onesie costume. Me too, right. Yamaha 350 power valve, nice. Yeah, I was an idiot. I used to do jumps and all sorts. I hit a jump in a rugby club car park going about 60 mile an hour, snapped the front headset off the bike, and ended up with the bike coming over my head with this throttle stuck on, and actually the tyre hit me in the air and sliced the top of my ear open. That's how close that was. And that was the last time I ever rode a motorcycle. What's my favourite food? Indian. I like Indian food. Chicken tikka masala. Chili chicken tikka masala. Pilau rice, Peshwari naan. Perfect meal. Last one. Favourite content creator. Kind of a trap. So, my favourite content creator is a difficult one. I am into watchers. I'm rarely into watchers, so I like the channel About Effing Time. And there is a guy who's in that, who is called Adrian Barker, who has his own channel. But in terms of who my absolute favourite is, it's neck and neck, and that is Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat. And they are both on par with one another in terms of my favourite. So, do you know Harry Styles? I do know. I don't know him personally, but I know of Harry Styles. And I do think he's got some good music. Don't tell anyone. That is, I actually think that Justin Bieber has some good music. But that's not a reflection of my music taste. I just think he's got some good music. But again, that's between us. But yes, Casey Neistat. So if you haven't seen Casey Neistat, you don't know who he is, that name pinned on the screen right now, go and check Casey out. And again, if you don't know who Peter McKinnon is, go and check out Peter McKinnon as well, because he is absolutely amazing. In fact, one of the best videos on this platform was done by Peter McKinnon. I put it in the community feed a while ago, and it was a video that he did, only a short video that was done for Epidemic Sounds. And it's about 2 minutes long, but if you go to Peter McKinnon's page and go to, it's a video that he did, I can't remember, I'll find it and I'll put it in the photographer Peter McKinnon, that's correct, yeah. Did you know he was also, Jeff, he was a magician. Originally, he was a very, very good magician. But yeah, he done this one for Epidemic Sounds. And this is what Epic is. And like I say, if you go through his videos, it was done about 6 months ago. It's about 2 minutes long. All of his videos are quite long. If you look at, I say quite long, sort of 7 to 10 minutes long. But this one's literally just 2 minutes long. And it's got a pink triangle on the screen with some writing on it. I can't remember what it says. But absolutely amazing, amazing little video. Harsh, do you agree the Beatles were one of the best bands ever? No. Sadly, I do not rate the Beatles whatsoever. I do apologise for any Beatles fans. I grew up in the era of Oasis, and personally, I think that Oasis are better than the Beatles. And I know that's going to split the room. But yeah, I actually think Oasis are better. I like a couple, 2 or 3 of the Beatles songs, but I don't rate them. Sorry. But then I do like John Lennon. I am a John Lennon fan. I do like his music. I just don't like the Beatles. Just don't get it. I just don't grasp it. Whoa, no to Beatles. But anyway, I think that brings us to a conclusion. I will say thank you all so much for joining us. This was a little bit of a wind down. Like I say, this wasn't anything too heavy, just us lot catching up. We're going to be doing these sort of things more often. I know we get less of a crowd, but you know, it's about doing them because I think that these are important to some people, and it's certainly important to me to be able to get to speak to you guys. And if there are people who need help, even if it's just to have a chat for a little while on a Sunday night, do you know what I mean? Just have a chat and share some ideas, share some hassles that we've been going through. I think it's worth doing. So I will love you and leave you. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday, whatever's left, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Take care.